Do some basic bike maintenance. Check for rotted tires and brake pads. Make sure the chain is properly lubricated and hasn't rusted. You should learn how to change a bike tire and carry levers and an extra inner tube on your rides. A good bike shop can give you a spring tune-up.
You will need tire levers to remove the tire and a pump or CO2 cartridge to reinflate the inner tube. When riding, always carry a spare tube. In the event of a flat, replace with a spare and patch the damaged tube later. This process requires the wheel to be removed. First, make sure the tube is completely deflated. Remove any dust cap. If your wheel is equipped with a Presta valve, look first for any stem nut along the shaft. Loosen and remove this nut, and then unthread the lock nut at the tip of the valve stem. Press to let the air out of the tire, squeezing out any extra air. A Schrader valve can be deflated by depressing the plunger inside the valve. For a Dunlop valve, unthread the cap only a few turns, then pull outward on the tip. Push both sides of the tire toward the center of the rim to loosen the bead from against the rim sidewall. Engage one tire lever anywhere on the rim except right at the valve. Pull back and lift the bead out of the rim. Take a second lever a few inches away and repeat. Continue the process until you feel the bead become loose enough to run the lever across the bead. Remove the second bead from the rim using tire levers as necessary. The tire and tube are now removed from the wheel. We would replace the punctured inner tube with your spare tube. If you don't have a spare tube, you'll need to patch your tube to get home. Unfold the new inner tube. Put just enough air into the tube for it to hold its shape. Install the inner tube inside the tire. To make it easier to find the tire's pressure recommendations when inflating, try to line up the valve with the recommendations on the tire. Check for any arrows printed on the sidewalls that indicate direction of wheel rotation. Align the tire with the rim accordingly. Engage the valve stem into the rim, being sure to align it so that it is not crooked. A misaligned stem is likely to get cut by the rim valve hole. Deflate the tire and realign as necessary. Work one bead at a time onto the rim. After one bead is installed, make sure the tube is stuffed inside the tire body. Beginning at the valve, push the other bead up and into the rim seat. Only when necessary, use tire levers to finish the bead installation. Work with care not to pinch the inner tube, or you may be repeating the entire process. Inspect the wheel to make sure the bead is uniformly seated and the inner tube is not poking out from underneath the tire. Partially inflate the tire and check to make sure the bead is properly seated. Once the tire is properly seated, continue to add full pressure. For Presta valves, tighten the lock nut at the tip of the valve stem. Install the threaded stem nut, if any. Snug the nut against the rim after the tire is fully inflated. Install the valve cap if desired. And that's the basic process on how to remove and replace the inner tube or tire on a bicycle wheel.
Ride with the flow of traffic as far to the right as possible without riding on the sidewalk. Watch out for motorists exiting a parked car and don't be afraid to own your lane. If you ride facing the flow of traffic, a motorist pulling out of a side street will likely look only at the oncoming traffic before pulling out in front of you. At intersections, stay out of the car's blind spot. They might turn right, cutting you off. Headlights are required on bikes at night, and you should use a red flashing rear light. Common sense indicates everyone should always wear a bike helmet. Be visible, wear bright clothing, and recumbent bikes should have a high flag attached to them. Obey traffic rules, bicycles are vehicles too. Stop at stop signs and red lights. Look both ways before flying through an intersection. When passing other cyclists, always announce your intentions.
Here's what you need to know about the rules of the road while on a bicycle. Did you know that people biking have the same rights and the same rules as people in cars and trucks? A bicycle riding on the road is considered a vehicle in Illinois, and riders must obey the same traffic laws, signs, and signals that apply to motorists.
Don't wear headphones or text and talk on your cell phone while riding. I've also seen people wearing flip-flops. Not smart. Cycle safely, wear your helmet, and obey the rules of the road. Be smart and safe. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you'll subscribe, and please click the thumbs up button and tell your friends about my channel.